While I see everybody talking about IQ levels and how smart you can be and how slick you can be and how much of a hustler you can be, I believe the highest form of intelligence that is required is emotional intelligence. Because if you understand all the universal laws operate within emotions, and if you too can get a hold and a control of your own emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, man, you'll be a dangerous individual in the business community. This is the ME Show.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Ali Midawi here, your strategic partner with a brand new installment of the ME Show. And today we're going to talk about emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. While many people are, including myself, we grew up on a school system, we grew up in a social system, we grew up in a political system that teaches us specific units of measurement of what success can, is, should be. Rather, I want to talk to you about how you actually can create, be, do, have anything that you can desire. And no, it has nothing to do with none of the traditional teachings that we have been given. Yes, I do need math and reading and writing abilities so I can operate in this day and age that we live in. But no, I don't need to be a master in calculus or have a bachelor's degree in philosophy or in English literature in order for me to be successful in business. And I'm an evidence of that for you. So if you are here for the very first time, let me know where you are chiming in from, if you are an entrepreneur, and if you are not, and definitely give me your own insight and definition of what emotional intelligence is to you. So there are 5 pieces of emotional intelligence, and if you can work on, you can't control them, but if you can work on moving with the flow of these 5 pieces, I can assure you, I can guarantee you, you're going to be able to create the life that you desire. And it does take a little bit of work. It does take a little bit of practice, whether it's via meditation, whether it's via reading, writing, gratitude book, journaling, whatever means that are available. I can assure you from experience that you can definitely master emotional intelligence. Would you agree with me, before I go into those 4 or 5 pieces rather, would you agree with me that some of the most successful entrepreneurs we know, and when I say successful, I'm not just talking about money and materialistic things, but as happy human beings, they are abundantly fulfilled, right? They speak with confidence, but they always have a very low tone of relaxation, right? They're not too hype or anything. Think about any of the sharks from Shark Tank. They come across sometimes cold-blooded. Well, in all sincerity, all that is emotional intelligence. See, the very first piece of emotional intelligence is to control your emotions. So what does that mean? See, life is but a roller coaster of emotions, right? You're going to have one day that you're very excited. You're going to have another day that you're not so much so excited. But no matter what happens throughout that day, the main thing that I want you to keep in mind, to focus on, is that you are to keep your lows under control and your highs under control. It's like what we taught, and we were taught in network marketing. One of the things that I've learned when I was in a company called ACN about 15 years ago, they would always say that don't fall into the trap of the emotional roller coaster. Just keep the bar down, right? You go in the roller coaster and you keep that bar down. So no matter the highs and the lows, you're just enjoying the ride. Well, the same exact thing in here. If you have an amazing financial breakthrough Yeah, you can celebrate for a minute or two, but get back to reality and get back to work. Don't let that define mama, we made it moment, right? And if you're having not so much of a good day, that things are challenging, or as I like to call them, you're going through a character building moment, don't let that define you as that's it, I'm a failure. All that means is the lows are a definition of this is what does not work for sure, and this is what we shouldn't do. And the highs, this is what works for sure, and this is what we should double and triple on, but with emotional control. So calmness, have a sense of demeanor. And this is where meditation comes handy. This is where personal growth comes handy. I know, especially in the network marketing scene, a lot of people talk about personal growth, but 99% of the people that I can come across in any network marketing profession, including executives and company owners, have but a bird poop amount of an idea of what personal growth really means. So make sure you work on that, because it's not a one book thing that you read or one quote or one audiobook that you listen to. It is a continual process that you do every single day. And the day you say, I no longer need it or want to do it, is the day that you should be out, especially if you are in a position of leadership, right? Number two, when it comes to emotional intelligence, is to be honest with yourself. And being honest with yourself sometimes is not an easy thing to do, right? We like, as human beings, including myself, to justify our own failures, right? We like to put a bad review on a restaurant instead of me saying, what was I thinking going to eat in the hood and expect it's going to be a 5-star restaurant experience? It was my decision that has led me to have a bad experience, right? You got to full stop. There's nothing more to it. Just take full responsibility, right? You also have to be honest with yourself when things are not going so well, and especially if it happens over a period of time. Now, I'm not telling you to quit. What I am telling you is to do a personal evaluation and take inventory of everything that you have. In business, we call that profit and loss reporting, P&L. So what does that mean? Okay, what am I gaining out of this experience, and what am I losing with this experience, and how long have I been gaining and how long have I been losing? And when you are honest with yourself, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business venture, whatever it may be, it allows you to have a moment of clarity in making decisions without any emotions. See, emotional decisions are not necessarily the best ones for you, right? Again, whether it's high emotion or low emotion, the main thing is that you are honest with yourself. Here's the thing: when things go wrong, it is my responsibility. When things go right, it is the collaboration of everybody that I'm working with. When things go wrong, it is my responsibility. When things go right, it is a collaboration of everybody that I'm working with. See, that, in my humble and professional opinion, is what leadership should look like. The moment you start blaming is when you start hurting yourself and everybody around you. A blame only hurts the blamer. Again, we heard it is very cliche. We talk about when you point the finger at somebody, there are three that are pointing right back at you. And that is so true. Don't blame, don't complain, don't whine. Just take responsibility. Hey, I messed up, I made a mistake, let's move on. What did we learn from it? And keep it moving. That is emotional intelligence. Okay. Number three is empathy. See, you have to have a high amount of empathy when it comes to emotional intelligence. There are people in my career over the last 15 years up to last week that, if I'm no longer building your business or your company, all of a sudden you look for reasons to attack me and attack my character just because it makes you feel better about yourself, right? It's like, that insecure boyfriend who gets dumped by his girlfriend, all of a sudden starts calling the boys. I'm like, I never liked her anyways. She was a this and she was a that, and starts degrading and talking bad about her just to justify to himself that he is the good guy and good riddance, while in all sincerity, you've been the problem all along. So empathy allows both sides, whether it's a business conversation, whether it's a personal conversation, whether it's a relationship, to create a sense of mutual humility, to create mutual relaxed calmness, to create mutual of, let's figure out where do we go from here, instead of trying to come at each other's throat. And it's also very, very, very um, from a character standpoint, is very beneath what we stand for as solution providers, because entrepreneurs essentially are solution providers. So if you don't have a sense of empathy, you're going to be arrogant, you're going to be cocky, you're going to tend to find yourself saying things like, he's broke anyways, he can't afford us right now. That's no empathy. Rather, hey, this is somebody who truly could use our help. Let's figure out how we can genuinely help him or her, right? Empathy is what drives positive moments. Empathy is what makes you and I become givers. Empathy is what makes you and I want to help the world. Empathy is what gives us purpose, what gives us reasons why. So if you lack empathy, you're going to find yourself being a bully. You're going to find yourself being very cocky and arrogant, that you think that you are negotiating or you are putting the person on the other side on a corner or twisting their arms. But all you're doing is you're showcasing and broadcasting to the whole world um, how much you lack understanding of what entrepreneurship is really about. You're broadcasting your ignorance. You're broadcasting um, your true character, that you're just a bad, horrible human being who finds joy and satisfaction in hurting other people. So humble yourself and work on being more empathetic. Number four is the ability to influence within 5 seconds. See, I'm not that guy, right? I'm not gonna claim and sit here and say I can influence a room in 5 seconds. But the people around you are usually the indication of who you are, and the people around you, they represent the average money you represent. True. They average the mindset you represent. They average the weight, style, or body shape that you represent. They embody everything that you are. This is why I'm very, very, very careful who is in my circle, physically or virtually. I don't just do business with anybody. I don't just talk to anybody. I get people who literally text me like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And I would reply, "Bro, like, what do you mean, bro? Like, do I'm confused. Did we hang out before? No, no, no. I'm just saying what's up. No, I get it, but only my true brothers, whether physically or not, they call me bro, and I just want to make sure that I'm honoring your words. If you say bro, there's an expectation that comes with that. There's a sense of mutual respect and influence and work that has to be embodied. There needs to be a core values alignment. There needs to be a parallel walk that is taking place. So because of that, God has granted me the ability to create a sense of influence in my circle and the people around me. And that's mutual, by the way. My people around me can influence me just as fast as I can influence them. I'm assuming that we are having the right conversation about the right process, or the right path, or the right journey. So the ability to influence within 5 seconds is something that is huge with those who master the sense of emotional intelligence. I've had people that literally, and I can tell you so many situations. I remember one physically, we were vividly rather, we were at an event, 2019, early 2019, February, that is 2019. And we were in Los Angeles at a Super Bowl regional event. It was a signature event that I threw every single year. And we were downstairs waiting for somebody to bring us tape and tables and things like that. And the gentleman that worked the room um, thought that we were someone else, and that someone else was just very rude, asking for more things than they paid for. They were treating the staff wrong, and this guy just walks in and starts yelling at me, thinking that I was that guy. He's like, "Hey, listen, I don't care how much money you spend. You don't talk to my staff like that. You don't just walk around and tell us blah blah blah." And I'm sitting in there, I'm like, what's going on? I'm confused. It's like, well, you're walking around telling people. I'm like, dude, I'm in an empty room. I just asked for the tables and the tape that we wanted. I'm confused why you're yelling at me. And then he started going even more and more and more. I'm like, dude, I think you're talking to the wrong guy, and you better check yourself, man. I am not the guy to be yelling at, because I'm not yelling at you, right? In all calmness, though, he walks out, stormed out, and he's like, I'll be right back. Well, guess what ended up happening? My man comes back with his tails between his legs, all embarrassed. He's like, "Man, I just realized Yeah, it was the other room. I'm like, dude, I've been meaning to tell you. I'm like, come here. I gave him a hug. We laughed. We joked. My man went over and beyond for 3 days to give us everything we desire without even asking for it. They paid for dinner for everybody. I mean, it was just a great experience. And that created the ability to influence the people who are around me, because I could have been a diva and a jerk and like, you know who I am? I am Mr. Blah, blah, blah. But I just gave the guy a hug. I'm like, misunderstanding, keep moving forward, showing empathy, right? The number five, or the fifth and the last, is motivation. People who master emotional intelligence, one, they create motivation from within. They do not need an external source to create motivation. Now, don't get me wrong, we do have different mentors, we do have different sources like books, audiobooks, and things of that nature. But the spark of our motivation is internal, because our inner peace, our non-physical self is so in alignment with that higher power, with that universe that is filled with abundance and goodness. And we know that it is fueled with abundance and goodness. I know that everything that is happening is good for me. So therefore, I'm excited about life. When people say, hey, this is not working out, I'm like, I know it's not supposed to work out today, because there's something bigger that's going to happen tomorrow. You don't need to motivate me. I am fueled with that. So when you have that motivation, it starts impacting your tonality. If you ever talk to me, you know I'm always fired up. I'm always ready to go. I'm always like, let's go, baby. I am the one. Like, everything is great. Everything is fantastic, right? That's not because, it's a dog and pony show, or it's an avatar that I play on. No, it's just who I am. I'm happy. I'm motivated. I am excited. I love life, because I live on that mindset that everything that is happening is ultimately good for me. So that everything that I see, it automatically, mentally and physically and emotionally is translated into good. And when your input system is fueled with it's good for me, immediately your output is just as good for the world. And that's why I believe emotional intelligence is the heartbeat of everything that we do as human beings. When you don't have emotional intelligence, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're quick to yell, to be mad, to be mean, to post about things, to try to hurt people. Because it's easy to be mean, it's easy to be, negative, it's easy to fall into the trap of drama. What's also just as easy is to smile and say, who cares? Keep it moving forward. But unfortunately, because of a paradigm shift that we don't possess yet, we are so stuck on seeing the bad, because the bad is usually physical and right there in front of us. We see it. The good is just as there, it's just we take it for granted. So, this is why you must work on your emotional intelligence in order for you to create the best version of yourself, not only for you, but for everybody around you. So, number one, have control on your emotions. Don't let your highs be your highs or lows be your low. Just enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. Know that that's what it's supposed to be in the moment. Be honest with yourself. Don't lie to you. And maybe you might need somebody that's going to hold you accountable. If your circle is a bunch of yes men or yes women, man, you are on your way out. I know many people who love to hear the sound of their own voice, and they love to hear everybody say, "I'm so proud of you. You're the best. You're doing everything perfect." And I am grateful that I have some people like my staff and my colleagues. They would literally tell me straight up, like, don't ever wear that again. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen you wear. I love that I have my brother as our VP of business development, and he is my ultimate critic. Everything I do, he's critiquing, not criticizing, but critiquing in a good way, because he wants to see the better version of me. He knows that there is better that I can become and I can be. Empathy. Be kind and empathize with the world. You don't know what people are going through. And here you are being a horrible big bad bully. Talk all the time about, like, I love that I can help people and change people's lives every day. But yet again, the first shot you got to help somebody who is going through something, you're taking a doo-doo and a shot at them right publicly in front of everybody. Way to go, personal developer and personal growth. Number 4 is the ability to influence within 5 seconds, and 5 is motivation. Those are things that are essentially natural once the first 3 are mastered. So I hope that you're receiving this information that I'm providing to you with the same love and that I'm intending it for you, so you can be and have and do anything that you desire. And it is not pure perfection. I'm not here to profess to you that I got it all figured out. Man, I got so much to work on. I have so much frustration, so much anger sometimes that I like, where did that come from? But I'm sharing my notes with you and my processes with you. So I know if 20 years ago, from me know English as a busboy and a dishwasher to sitting before you and doing the things that I do and having the life that I have with my family and my colleagues, it was not random. It was by design. And these are some of the things that I've done to design the life that I have. I love and I appreciate you. And until next time, let me hear. Peace out, everybody.